Hello guys, I welcome you back to my channel. My name is Thlologelo Promise Rampa and this is Relocate to Australia with Promise. For those of you who are new, this is the channel you should subscribe to if you were looking to relocate to Australia or anywhere else in the world and you did not know where to start or you did not have the courage. I am telling you, you will not regret it. I am a girl from a small town called Siyabuswa in Mpumalanga, South Africa, and I have relocated to Australia with my family since 2019. So you guys can also do it. This is obviously a DIY relocation platform, meaning that you can do this whole process without the help of an agent or having to pay somebody to do this process for you, because you've got access to information that everybody has and you can literally do this whole thing yourself. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you were looking to relocate abroad. Okay guys, let me get down to today's business. I do not want to be too long. Lord, please help me, because me I yep too much, so I don't want to be too long. Okay guys, I want to address this now. Obviously this is going to come up in relationships, especially for people who are partnered. Either you are married to somebody or you've got some sort of arrangement going on, or you're just dating. If you are looking to relocate, there is some form of conversation that has to occur with your partner. Obviously, when conversations about relocation come up, it's either one or the other partner who will spark that conversation. And it really depends on where the one partner got that inspiration or that idea to relocate. You might find that sometimes you get into a relationship with someone and they had that as a life goal, something that they wanted to do later on in life, and then it so happened that they met you and then you loved each other and then you decided to do your things together, and then now hear this person coming up and saying, hey dude, me, I've always wanted to relocate, or I'm thinking of relocating, or I want a career change and I want to do this with my career, or I want to do this with my life. And then all of a sudden, okay, now the relationship has moved into the fast lane and you have no idea how to navigate that new space. Obviously, there is a conversation that needs to occur, guys, when you are in a relationship with somebody and you are thinking of relocating. It is not something that you can just wake up and say, okay, fine, I just want to pack my bags, I just want to apply for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want to go. If you are single, it is much more easier. Like single people, single people are the happiest people in this world. I'm joking, maybe they're not. I don't know. I've not been single for a very long time, so I don't remember. But for single people, it is very easy for you to make a decision with your life and literally decide on it and then do it. But for people who are in relationships, whatever your situation is, it is not that easy. You don't just wake up to make such decisions and actually carry them through. You need to have that conversation with your partner. And I even think when you are divorced and you have children with somebody, you still need to have that conversation with that person because you've got children with them. But then again, that's a discussion for another day. Okay, so in my conversations with a lot of people, I would find that they would be like, okay, Promise, I'm thinking of relocating, but my partner, and usually it's actually a lot of women than men. I don't know why, but it's always a lot of women who come forth. I've only spoken to about 3 guys who said that their partners do not want to leave. So in the work that I've decided to do, helping people to relocate, I've been having conversations with people who are in that predicament, where you find that where now you have decided that, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to live here anymore. I want to relocate for whatever reason, whether it is just you wanting to see what is out there, or you want a career change, or you want a different life for you, your children, or whoever who is involved in your situation. And now you find that you are in a relationship with this person and you need to have that conversation with them. There was this one lady who came to me and said, you know what, Promise, your videos have really helped me to have a conversation with my husband, because in the beginning he did not want to hear anything about relocating when I told him that I want to relocate. But after watching your videos and him seeing the life that you're living in Australia, he's kind of warming up to the idea. I was like, well, you know what, there are some people who take time, there are some people who do not like change, and there are some people who they don't want to leave at all. So you need to understand where your partner's response is coming from. And one thing that I will tell you guys, and I've been in a relationship with my husband for 11 years now. Look, I cannot believe it. Oh, and I'm still so young. I've been in a relationship with my husband for 11 years. We've been married for 9 years now. Imagine 9 years of my life gone just like that. I'm joking. One thing that I've learned, especially with this whole relocation thing, relocating will test your relationship. And I think I once said this in one of my previous videos, where I said relocating will show you the truth of your relationship. If your relationship is strong, it will be stronger. If your relationship sometimes is teka-taking, it will teka-taka worse. Or maybe you might get to that point where you're like, hey dude, this is actually the person that I want to be with, and you stop teka-taking your relationship, and now your relationship is now good because you've got this one person and you've got the same goals and you want the same things in life, A lot of things can happen after people have relocated. With me and my husband, the conversation about relocating was very easy. Reason being, obviously, we decided to relocate when he was in hospital after a tragedy had happened. And Lena, he could see, right, we cannot stay in this country. It is not safe at all. In our relationship, I was the one who came up with that idea. I remember us having a bit of a conversation about relocating. There was this one friend of his that had relocated to the UK. They went to varsity together, and I think the guy immediately after varsity, he relocated to the UK, and he's been living there ever since. Like, this is like about 15-20 years ago. So we would have a conversation about him to say, hey, you remember that guy who has relocated to the UK? How is he doing? Would you leave? And my husband was like, yeah, I would probably leave, but I wouldn't go to the UK because it's cold, yada yada yada. And that was about it. We never had like further discussions after that. And then after the tragedy happened and we met these family friends that were looking to relocate to Australia, that had relocated and were looking to relocate to Australia. After we had that conversation, I went to my husband. I was like, dude, I think we should go to Australia. Obviously, my husband was still trying to process a lot of things. He was just looking at me like, this girl. But he agreed. I don't even think he had an option. There was no way he was going to say no. If he had said no, I was going to leave him there. I was going to go. So when he was in recovery, that is where we had those conversations to say, okay, fine, we are going to Australia and this is where we should start. And that's where I started contacting agents. It was the time when my husband was still in hospital. What would I have done if my husband said no? I was going to leave him there, Shem. I was going to take off the ring and be like, hey, stay here with your marriage. Me, I'm gone. I was going to go. Don't play like that. And even if I was not going to be able to come to Australia, because again, you remember, I do not have the work experience, I was going to go to another country because I was tired of being unemployed back home. There was no way I was going to live in that country, be unemployed, depressed and stressed and still sit there. I was not going to do it. But this is what happened with us. Now, I found that with my husband, although he agreed to say, okay, fine, we can go to Australia, he was very relaxed with the process, and that's why I had to take charge. Anyway, I was unemployed, pale. I was not doing anything. So I had the time to look for that information, to do the things that needed to be done. But with him, he was very relaxed. My husband was that one where I was like to him, did you send these documents? Did you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Did you do this? And he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm like, you need to do it today. Do it now, because I was desperate. But with him, he had a job. He was okay. Like, his life was fine. There was nothing really pushing him apart from the life that we were living in South Africa, it being unsafe and everything. He was okay with his life. He was okay with life back home. He might have not been 100% happy, but he was okay. But for me, I was in a very deep dark hole and I was so desperate. I literally wanted to go. I wanted to go. I just wanted to leave. So I was the one who was more hands-on with the process, and I would be so happy when I see my husband like doing his part. And he did, so much for my husband, he did do his part, and he would do the interviews, and you know what, he went all out to make sure that we realized our dream to come to Australia. And I remember he'd always say to me, you know what, Thlologelo, don't worry, we are going to leave and you're going to be fine and we're going to be happy. And you know what, he lived up to his promises. But for me, during that time, I couldn't see the light because I was in a deep dark hole. But anyway, so you find yourself in that situation where you want to relocate, but then your partner is saying, nah, I'm not there, I don't want to leave. There are some people where their partners are like, yay, don't even discuss that with me. Don't even spark that conversation. Don't even start with that thing of yours. I don't want to hear it. You know what, guys, it is so hard to be in a relationship with somebody who is not vibrating in the same frequency or the same wavelength as you, where you feel like with certain things you are the one that has to compromise more than the other person. Relationships are very complex. Relationships are different, and you cannot compare your relationship to the next person. The thing that you need to understand is, how do you guys come to an agreement? How do you make decisions? How do you communicate? Because if you can master your communication skills and you being able to, understand where the next person is coming from and why do you want to relocate, why don't you want to relocate, and getting to understand each other's reasoning, and then you can come to a common ground. And sometimes it might be that the common ground means that you will not be able to relocate, and you should be okay with that. Relocating is not for everyone. Relocating is very challenging, not only the process but also for your relationship, because you literally have to leave everything that you know behind, everybody that you know behind, and you need to start this new life somewhere. There are some people who are not open to change. There are some people that are not comfortable with change. There's some people who are not comfortable going to new environments, or they had plans for their lives in their home country. Maybe that person wanted to start a business in their home country and they had put in the work, and here comes Sophia wanting to go to the UK. Sophia, why? So there are a lot of reasons why some people would not want to leave. It is so unfortunate when you find yourself in the situation where now you have to then make that decision to say, okay, fine, am I leaving this person or I'm staying behind with this person to help them realize whatever they want to realize. Earlier on this month, we had a Twitter discussion about relocation, and this one guy was saying that with him, he was also not open to relocating, and his wife just left and said, bye-bye, I'm going, you will follow if you want to come. And that actually happens a lot, where the one partner will decide, okay, fine, you know what, if you don't want to leave, it's okay. You stay behind. Nah, I'm going either alone or with the children. And then if you want to come, you can follow. I will organize your visa. You don't want to find yourself in that position, because what if you allow Maria to leave and then in the plane Maria finds the love of her life? What is going to happen? You know, guys, to be honest with you, it is always better to be in a relationship with somebody that has the same vision and the same goals as you. And even if they might not initially have them, but they are people who are willing to support your dreams. And as much as they are willing to support your dreams, you can also support theirs. It is not just always a give, and then whenever you're taking. No, you have to be fair, and your partner also has to be fair. Guys, relationships are very difficult. I'm telling you, 11 years in this thing, I will tell you, and people that have been in this probably longer will tell you, relationships are very difficult. But you can always make them easy, especially if you and your partner are committed to making your relationship easy. When you are in a relationship with somebody, you are going through an individual journey and a joint journey. It is individual because even in a relationship, you are still a human being. You've got things that you want for yourself. You've got aspirations, you've got goals, you've got all these things that you want for yourself. But also it is a joint journey. As I explained earlier, you have decided to join your life with somebody and you are now living your life with somebody, meaning that you also have to take in the fact that they are also going through an individual journey. So now you have to marry your individual journeys and make sure that that marriage is something that is sustainable and something that is healthy. You don't want to be in a relationship where you find yourself unfulfilled and then you now start resenting the decisions that you have made to be in this union, and now you are a horrible person in this relationship doing all sorts of snacks things because you were not able to be honest with your partner and yourself about what you were expecting and what you want out of that relationship. As I said, you guys, honesty is the best policy. You have to be honest with yourself, like you are sitting with God and your ancestors in the toilet and it's only just the three of you. Be that honest. Be that honest and be comfortable with your honesty, and it's going to be much more easier for you to then be honest with the next person because you can live with your truth. So if you know, Rowena, you're this person who wants to relocate and your partner does not want to relocate, be honest with yourself and say, you know what, if that is the situation, am I willing to then compromise and then sit here with this person and never ever leave for the rest of my life because I have decided to choose this person over this thing? You need to make that decision and be okay with it, and then start living out the life that you would want to live then in that situation. But if you're going to be dishonest with yourself and still hold on to that thing, I'm hoping he's gonna change or she's gonna change her mind, and then 10 years boo is gone, nothing is happening, and here's this person looking at you like, I told you 10 years ago I did not want to do this, and now you angry that you spent 10 years of your life expecting that person to change or to compromise for you. There are some people who are strict and very honest with their boundaries to say, I'm not going there, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to engage with it, and I'm not going to even change my mind. And you should know your person, or if your person has said something like that, probably they do mean it, because you have been with this person for however many long. You should have known that's what they mean. There are some people where you know, okay, fine, this one you can sway them, but don't try and sway people. So don't do that with your life. If there's one thing that I really learned in life, is that we only live once, and we've been knowing this thing forever and ever. Everybody says this. You live once and you've got this one lifetime to live out fully to the fullest. There's no do-over, there's no second chance, there's no redo, there's no we were joking, man, you are not dead, come back. The best thing that you can do with this life that we have been graced with is for you to live it out to the fullest, full. By the time you are dead, you are gone, we are burying you, you have lived the life that you wanted to live. And it is so unfortunate that sometimes we meet people along our journeys that we would hope to live with them until the very end, but it just so happens that that might not be the person that you are going to live that life that you want to live with throughout. It might happen that God had different plans for you, but one thing that you have is agency. You have the ability to decide what you want to do with your life. I remember I was in varsity this one time and I had this friend of mine who had a relative that had an opportunity in China. The lady had just given birth. I think the child was about less than a year old, and then she had this opportunity in China. She wanted to leave. Obviously she had that discussion with her husband to say, okay, fine, me, I want to go. The husband was like, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. We are staying here to raise a child and we are staying in this marriage. The woman was like, I am leaving. So you know what the husband did? He called a meeting with the family, I think both sides of the family. And both sides of the family told the woman, you are not going anywhere. You should stay behind. You know what that woman did? She packed her bags and she left. I was like, hey, good girl. She packed the bags. She went to China. She went to do whatever she went to do there, and she came back. I think she was going to study. I think it was like a postgraduate opportunity or something like that. And then she came back. I never really found out what happened after she came back. But I remember at the time, obviously, I had not thought of relocating or anything like that. But I wondered to myself, why would your husband be against your growth? and something that is going to benefit the family in the long run. Why is it like that? And somehow, because we are born and raised in the stupid patriarchal system, where if the situation was reversed, where it was the man who had that opportunity and the wife was the one who was against it, like, it was not going to be even up for discussion. The men are just going to say, hey, now look, there's an opportunity in China, bye bye, stay with the children, I'm coming back. And he would go, and then now he would be praised, wow, this man went to China, he's going to feed his family. But with a woman, it is something different. Women are always the ones who usually have to fight for their position in the society, where men and family would be the ones who are actually blocking and stopping them from realizing their dreams. Child, not in 2022. Not in the 20th century. We have been surviving. We cannot come and survive again. Okoko, we are surviving every day. And when you are in a union, your advancement is the advancement of your family. Whether you are a man or a woman, or a woman and a man and a man and a woman, or whatever your situation is, your advancement is your family's advancement. And if you're in a relationship with somebody that does not understand that, you really have to question where you want to go in that relationship, because your partner has to support your growth. If you are in a partnership with somebody that is not encouraging and nurturing of who you are and who you want to be, you are in a relationship with your enemy. Lose that thing. You cannot be out there fighting the satanis of this world and then come back to fight satani in your house. Whether it is a man or a woman, you should be in a relationship with someone that is going to support and encourage you to be your best self, and not feel small about themselves because you are advancing and you are being this person and you're living out your dreams and you're living out your full potential. They should not feel small because they trust and they are confident in what they carry. But if they're insecure about what they have and what they carry, they will fight you about what you have been blessed with by your God and your ancestors. Don't be fighting enemies outside and inside the house. Don't do that. Do not. One thing that I will tell you guys again, relocating will test your relationship. It will test it will show you the true colors of your relationship. If your relationship is not strong wherever you are, either when you come here, it will be stronger if you are willing to work on it and address whatever the situation was when you were back home. It will either be stronger or it will be weak to the weakest, where now you find yourself in undesirable situations. I know of a lot of immigrants that have then come to Australia, married, and they've come to Australia with their partners and their children, and then when they get here, they divorce. Because let's say, for example, you come to Australia and you don't have children. Your partner will be your everything until you start creating a life outside of your relationship. Like, for example, you start making friends, they start making friends, and then you expand your network. Otherwise, your partner is all that you have. Meaning that if you don't like being with this person, or there were some things that you really did not like about that person, it is going to be very hard for you, especially if you have not yet resolved them. Meaning that either you can have a conversation with your partner to say, there are these parts here and there that I don't like that we could work on, or there are these parts here and there that I don't like, but I'm willing to, compromise on all of that. You really need to be honest with yourself 100%. You should truly know what you want. And if you have made that decision to say, I'm going to be with this person until the end of time, and that is a decision that you have made, and any other decision that follow is because you have decided that this is the person that I want to be with. Don't stay in toxic situations because you have made vows. If you can see that this thing is not working out for you and this person is not helping you and nurturing you to be your best self, but pack your bags and you just say, hi Shem, this is where it comes to an end. It's been great, it's been awesome, lessons learned, thank you, goodbye. When you have children with the person, obviously you have to find some common ground somewhere so that you can raise the children in a healthy co-parenting situation. And we did not come here to talk about such things. What I wanted to explain to you guys is that you might find yourself in a predicament where you want to relocate but your partner does not want to relocate. What do you then do? My advice would be, sit down with your partner and have a thorough conversation about why is it you don't want to leave, and also find a way to explain to your partner why you want to leave. As I explained to you guys, with me and my husband, I was very desperate to leave. My husband wasn't. But lucky enough for me, he was open to relocating. And when we got to Australia, we found that, it is everything that we thought it would be and even more. When you come to Australia, you get to realize, oh my God, this is my family and this is all that I have, and I need to protect this and I need to cherish this. And that's why I'm saying that when you come to Australia, it is going to test your relationship and it's going to show you the true colors of your relationship. One thing that you don't want to do, especially as the partner that does not want to relocate to Australia, you don't want to agree to relocating to wherever in this world with your partner, and then you become homesick, or you realize that, no, I did not do this decision for me, I made that decision for this person, and you start to resent that person and you feel like they messed up your life. You become this animal and you become this horrible human to live with. You've made that decision, yes, but for as long as you've got air going in and out of your lungs and you're still breathing and you're alive, you can always redo your decisions. And you can sit down to plan and say, okay, fine, this is not working out. what is the plan from here onwards. The worst thing to happen to you is to be in a relationship and feel stuck in it. You don't want to do that. Families that relocate and thrive after they've relocated are families that have good communication skills and are considerate of the other person, and they are able to sit down and have proper conversations about where are we today, what is going on, and where do we want to go as a family from here onwards. What is the plan? When you said your vow, they said in sickness and in health, they forgot to put in relocation there, but I'm telling you, they should have done that. But I'm telling you, they must revise those vows. They must put something like that in there. Is there something like that in the vows? I don't know, but they must put something in there to say, okay, Jabulani, are you open to having a discussion about relocation? I do. Okay, Rena Sophia, are you open to having a conversation about relocation? I do. You see, it must be in there. For people who did not want to invite legislation into the situation where, hi, it's a dumpable relationship. Today I can leave you, pack my bags, goodbye. For people who are in such relationships where you're just dating somebody and maybe you find that your partner is not yet ready. For example, maybe they're either studying or they've got a good position at work and they're not willing to give that up. Or maybe, you know what, there are those kind of people who are like, no, I want to stay behind with my family, but I still want to continue this relationship with you. I will tell you the honest truth. Bid farewell to that relationship. Say goodbye to it. When you kiss that person at the airport, kiss them for the last time, because Hashem, if you find yourself in that situation, Hashem, bid farewell to that relationship. Just say goodbye, my lover, goodbye, my friend. You'll never see that person again. I'm joking, guys. You know, there are some people who do long distance relationships very well. They do. I'm just not too sure how that is going to work, because if you find yourself in that situation where your partner does not want to leave at all and you're just dating, but they don't want to leave at all, and where now you've decided that you want to start your life abroad, I don't see it working. I don't see it working, because how are you going to make children? How are you going to make children? Where are those children going to live? If that is something that you want to do, like that is something that you want in life, you want to get married, fine, you can get married. But now imagine you are getting married and this person is still living there and you are living there. When are you going to do? I don't think it's going to work. I don't see that working, but maybe there are some people who can come and tell us, oh, you know what, Promise, it actually does work. But if the long-term goal is not to unite one day, let's say, for example, the other partner is hoping you're going to go wherever you want to go and you're not going to find whatever you're thinking you're going to find there, and you're going to come back, and then that time you find that the other partner is like, no, this one is going to change their mind, they're going to come and join me. I don't know how you're going to do this, but I don't think it is going to work. That's why I'm saying sometimes it is very hard when you love someone and you had hoped for a future with them and you wanted to do this life journey with them, but the things that you might want in life might not be accommodating of that relationship. And you have to understand, forgive yourself, forgive the next person, so that you can move on without being bitter and hating the other person for wasting your time or whatever the situation is. But everything is worthy of a conversation. Sit down with your partner, explore why they don't want to leave and explain why you want to leave. Weigh the pros and cons. Look at your financial situation, look at your financial goals, look at your life goals, you know, all those kind of things. I always believe in a partnership that has life goals. Like, I don't know how people are just living life and just living in jail without looking forward to something. I don't know how they do that. I always believe in having direction, more lifing, where you're like, okay, fine, when I ask Jabulani, what are your goals, what are your dreams, what do you want for yourself, and what do you want to see happening in our relationship, and how do we join that? And when I ask Maria Sophia, what do you want, what are your goals, and how do we marry that and join that? Because you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody, feel unfulfilled, and then resent the other person for the decisions that you made in that relationship. Don't do that. Sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where your partner is like, I don't want to discuss it, I don't want to talk about it, don't ever speak anything relocation with me. I'm sorry to say this, but you are dating Hitler. You're in a relationship with a terrorist. Osama bin Laden died a long time ago. This is not a dictatorship. This is not a dictatorship. You need to be heard in a relationship. You need to be able to voice out where you are in life and what is going on with you. And if somebody is going to shut you down, what does that mean? How are you in a relationship with someone where you can't have a conversation? You can't talk. They mute you. You are muted in a relationship. This person is shutting you up and you are shut upable. It is okay to say, okay, fine, I see you've had a long day at work or it's been rough, we'll come back to it. And you give them 2-3 days to calm down, I get in their head, and then you spark that conversation again. If again they don't want to have that conversation with you, this person is shutting down your life. You must reevaluate what you want to do with your life and your relationship. Don't be that person to your partner. Allow your partner to speak and also hear them out. And if you can speak in words, use sign language, write a letter, or pick out a song, Adele, that will explain what is going on with you. And you make that person listen to it and you say, okay, this is how I feel. And if that person is dismissing your feelings and what is going on with you, maybe you should go to therapy. But now imagine going to therapy so that the therapist can explain to your partner that you want to relocate. Never. Never. Me, I love my money. Never. I would never do that. I would never. So guys, now in closing, let me be serious. If you find yourself in a situation where you want to relocate and your partner is not yet there, I will say your partner is not yet there for whatever reason, okay? You can decide to continue having that conversation with them. You can leave them behind and hopefully they will come. I pray that they do come. And when they come, they don't come bitter and thinking that you forced them to join you. It is something that they also want or they have warmed up to. Or you can let it go, put it to rest for now, and then maybe one day, someday, that person will be like, hey, remember that dream of yours that you had about relocating? Let's try it out. You don't know. Relationships are very complex, relationships are very difficult, but they can always be made easy if you are willing to be honest with yourself and you're willing to be honest with your partner, and hopefully your partner is also as honest with you like they are being with God and your ancestors and whoever they talk to. Do not force your partner to saying yes to something they do not fully agree on, because that would not be fair on them and your relationship and yourself as well, because if your relationship is not good, you won't be good either. And then now imagine that trickles down to the children. So do not do that. Remember, relationships are a partnership, not a dictatorship. Partnership. So you need to work together. You have to understand that this is going to impact on your lives, the both of you. And you need to be strong in your decision. Trust each other. Trust your abilities. Trust your dreams. Trust your ambitions. Have life goals. Sit down and plan as a family. So sit down, have those conversations, write things down, explore where your partner is, and also explain to your partner where you're coming from and what you want. And hopefully everything comes together and you can realize this beautiful dream of relocating and experiencing a world outside of where you are living today. So that's that from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you again in my next upload.